Welcome back. Yes, indeed, continuing our focus on the governorship and state houses of assemblies election across the country. But today we'll be talking about Lagos and then the comments made by INEC, which will apply across the board. Well, this morning we're joined by Mr. Ramon Owokoniran, who is the Director General, Jimi Agbaje Campaign Organisation, as a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir.
Thank you.
How are the preparations going on for your organization at the moment?
Well, we are moving on top gear, getting ready, especially having faced the 28th of March election and seeing what happened with the experience from that. We are tidying up and ensuring that all the loopholes are being blocked so that our people can get what they deserve at the polls come 11th of April.
When you say loopholes, what does that mean?
Well, the INEC promised us so many things before the election, and all these things did not come to materialize. They promised us that we can depend on the card reader. They promised us that the voters lists will be available. They promised us that they are going to be free. I mean, they are going to be transparency, and we're going to have a free and fair election being conducted. But so that there had been no improvement, well, little improvement from the elections we had in the previous
Okay,
years.
why do you say we can't depend on the card reader? Because to many, the card reader worked except for the challenge, little challenge, they describe it as that they had. And now the INEC has even said, well, this time you have to use the card readers. If elections don't get concluded at whichever place, you go on the next day, but the card reader is a must.
Well, we hope that that will happen, but the last time it didn't. I'm sure we have more than 35–40% of the cases in Lagos where the card readers did not work. And worst of it is that even in such circumstance, the voters list was not even available to check those people that were coming to vote. And
not available on the day?
On the day, on the spot, at the spot.
So how were they checking?
Well,
INEC?
They were just writing on piece of paper, right? There was nothing to check.
In all places?
Not in all places, in many places.
You want to name some of these places?
Well, I can tell you it happened in Oshodi, it happened in Koshoferia, it happened in Agege, it happened in many of the local government areas. And we have cases where the INEC staff did not report for duty until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and they had to do accreditation up to about 6 o'clock. And in some cases, people insisted they wanted to vote, and they voted until 10, 11 o'clock at night. And in some cases, the INEC staff will refuse going on with the voting and insist on coming back the following day after accreditation. I wonder, in some cases, they will choose to use the accreditation of the previous day, and in many cases, they insist that they want to do the accreditation all over again the following day. So you don't really have a clear cut of what the rules are for that election of the 28th. So I hope, that those who are trained to use the machine, because I don't even think in most of the cases it was about the machine. I think it was more about the personnel than the machine. We learned eventually that most of those people that were trained to use the machine in Lagos were suddenly changed.
I thought INEC said that there's an approved list, and so if one person on that list falls ill, the next person could always replace them. Is that what you mean by sudden replacement?
No, that's not what I mean. If you have a case of one or two people falling sick, but if you have a case of changing their mind as to who, I mean, I can tell you that most of the people that were used in Lagos the last time were not youth corpers. And we have that case in Oshodi. We have that case in some of the local governments, you know, Shomolu, and it's most unfortunate.
No, we're talking about the ad hoc staff on the election day.
Yeah.
And the bulk of them were supposed to be members of the NYSC.
That's right.
And here in Lagos, you say most were not members of the NYSC.
Substantial numbers.
Substantial numbers?
Yes, of these people were not.
Did you try to find out how they emerged, who those people were?
Well, they were, the INEC claimed that they have a pool of these people trained for this job, and at any given point in time, they have the choice to select who gets to do the job. So, but to our surprise, we're expecting strictly NYC.
Well, wasn't INEC in communication with political parties, including yours, about this?
No.
They were not?
About who?
Yeah, about processes.
Well, yeah, we are in communication with them as to the process, but as to changing their mind midway through in terms of who is conducting, that's a new.
Did INEC promise that they were going to use just core members throughout the elections?
Yeah.
That was a promise given.
That was a promise that core members will be used throughout the election. And
is it that strictly core members or core members alongside other ad hoc staff?
Yeah, core members the other ad hoc staffs are supposed to be supportive of the core members who were supposed to have been trained how to use the machine. But the issue here is not even about who uses, whether it's core members or not, but the issue is most of these people cannot even use this machine.
So
were they not trained?
I think we'll get on the picture. You're saying that even though INEC had said they had a pool of others waiting on the wings to be drafted to conduct this particular election, most of those who were not core members you saw on election day in Lagos couldn't operate the device.
That's right. In many cases, in many instances, and in many instances where we had all these malpractices, this was what obtained.
What malpractices did you notice on that day?
Well, we have a case of people coming to use other people. As long as you have possession of PVC, you're allowed to vote. And there are situations whereby, in most of the cases, you find out that INEC do not allow our agents to check the process. In other words, it's only the INEC ad hoc staff determines who votes and who doesn't vote.
Was it just your agent or any other person?
Well, our agents.
The agents of political parties.
Yes.
From the way INEC draws their map, it would seem that agents of political parties have a place to stand
not in the
aside.
last election.
What did you notice in the polling booths?
That's what I just said. At the polling booths, it was only the INEC ad hoc staff that determines who votes and who doesn't. And the agents are not allowed to participate in this process. The agents are supposed to check alongside the INEC ad hoc staff, the voters, whether they are duly accredited. they're supposed to check their PVC against the voters register, or...
I'm sorry, sir, but you say that the agents of the political parties, in other words, in the case of Lagos, where you had all 14 contestants from 14 political parties, you would have had 14 political agents cross-checking what the INEC official is supposed to be doing?
Yes, it is easy. The way they arranged it is that as these people come, as the voters come, they're supposed to, they're supposed to show the PVC to the INEC officials, and because the agents are around, they can also see the picture of the voter to see that it matches with the picture on the voters register.
That will be at the second stage now, after they must have authenticated the PVC. Is this the biometric stage you're talking about, or the stage where you then go to check the list?
Yes, well, you're supposed to check the list. I'm sure at the stage you're checking the list, you're supposed, the biometrics, that is supposed to be done by INEC official.
You don't think that this is a recipe for confusion? Because, first of all, if INEC had already divided this into two stages, first of all, the accreditation process, and that's why INEC said they introduced the card readers, so much so that you're not just, and then they insisted on the use of PVCs, which not everybody was able to collect. So if you come and you're not able to authenticate, they say that they will manually accredit you. How do you know that, say, for instance, now somebody brings a PVC and it doesn't quite match, in your opinion, because then that would be left to the opinion of all the agents present at the polling booth. It doesn't quite match. How do they know that that extra person, whom they feel, you know, might not be for them, is not actually going to vote for them?
No, this is not about the other parties. This is about the voter being accredited as the authentic person that is supposed to use a PVC. That is why the agents are there, to check along with INEC that these people coming to vote, they are actually the real owners of this card. Otherwise, the agents will have no business there.
That's essential, because what you seem to be insinuating at the end of the day is that this also created a bias against your party.
No, I'm saying that, I'm not saying it created a bias against the party. I'm saying that everybody should be able to do what they are supposed to do there. The adult staff is supposed to use the machine to check. Once the machine, and they told us that there will be a speaker that will indicate that that is a duly accredited voter.
Did you say a speaker?
Yeah, that everybody there should be able to know. It's not only for the adult staff to know that this person that had been accepted by the machine is duly accredited. Everybody, the agents, they're supposed to know. Now, if the machine does not work, then the next stage, whereby you go and check the register to see that this picture on the PVC matches that of the voters list.